Now we can have paid traffic, we can have free traffic. So let's talk about some paid traffic, something that we could test with reasonable numbers, because there's a lot of different ways to do this, and I don't want to go through all of them here, or this will become endless, and you won't ever go out and get started. You'll just be watching videos for the rest of your life. So let's talk about some great ways to do that. Number one, and this is going to be paid that we're talking about here. Number one is that we could advertise in online newsletters. You can either have an ad in the newsletter, or you could have what's called a solo ad. So here's what this means. Online, there are hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of newsletters, people that have lists. And you could advertise in their newsletter. Now, you don't just want to go and find any old newsletter. What you want to do, very simple, is you go to Google, again, or Yahoo, whatever your favorite search engine is, and you search for a couple of things. The first and easy one to do is to search whatever your keyword is and search newsletter along with it. And that's going to find you a bunch of people. And usually if you find somebody that's got an opt-in form in their website related to your keyword, they're going to have a newsletter. If they're going to have a newsletter, usually they sell advertising in it. And so you could go to them and buy an ad, and some of these ads will cost $20 or $50 or $100. You just advertise a newsletter very inexpensively, and you know that, and you can even subscribe to them. They're free generally, and you can see that these are the kind of people that are interested in golf because it's a golf newsletter. So running a golf ad in a golf newsletter, very targeted traffic and very low cost. A lot of these ads are not expensive. So that's an ad. This is actually inside of the newsletter, and there might be something like an ad, and then some content, and then an ad, and then more content, and ad, more content, ad. Okay, so you're just in the mix there. A solo ad, on the other hand, is going to be more expensive, but also going to be longer. Usually the ads in the newsletter are more like a classified ad. You can write a longer ad, a solo ad, where they mail it to the entire list, and it's just you. Just your information, so you could have several paragraphs and lots of information about why whatever it is you're selling is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And so you could run this solo ad to the list. Now, if you're starting out with a small budget, I suggest you start just testing some newsletter ads in a list. But if you find a list and a newsletter that's very responsive and they have a solo ad, you can spring to spend some more money, reinvest some of your profits, and get a solo ad. And so this is a great way to get started, very targeted, and you can go and look for all of these newsletters. You can also just look for newsletter directory sites, and there's a couple of them out there that have a lot of newsletters listed in them. So that's one way to buy paid advertising that can be pretty strong. And again, very cost effective, doesn't require you to invest a lot of money, a little bit of time doing some research. But once you find a good place to advertise, you can advertise there on a regular basis for your specific product today and maybe future products. And remember, if the ad works really, really well, you can just run it again very quickly, and then if it drops down to kind of break even, then just wait a while, maybe 2-3 months, and then run it again. The next thing that we want to talk about is pay-per-click traffic. Now, pay-per-click, and I want to make sure we understand what this means, because sometimes people think this is pay-per-clip, but this is pay-per-click. And you've never heard the term before, you've seen these ads. Because every time you do a search on Google or Yahoo or MSN, or you see all those different text ads on websites that look like little classified ads, those are pay-per-click ads. And it's really simple. You run this short text ad, and they can also be video ads and some different things, or image ads, but generally they're going to be text ads that you're going to start with. And you agree to only pay when someone clicks and visits your website. So this ad might get shown 1,000 times and only clicked on 5 or 10 times, and you only have to pay when someone clicks on the ad. And you can choose the amount that you pay. You can say, hey, listen, I want to pay 10 cents, or I want to pay 35 cents. Doesn't matter, you can pay whatever you want to pay. The more you pay, the more your ad will be shown, because the search engines and the websites, what do they want to do? They want to make the most money. So if you pay more, your ad gets shown more. Okay? It's very simple. But starting out, this is a great way, well, not even just starting out. Overall, it's a great way to generate traffic. Starting out, it's a tremendous way because you can do a couple things. You can have a daily limit on how much you spend. So when I say daily limit, that means you could literally go in, and I'll give you the names of the big ones in a minute, but you could go into the search engine that you're going to run pay-per-click advertising on. You say, my daily limit is going to be $20 or it's going to be $50. And you're going to say, look, I'm going to just run enough ads today, I'm going to spend $20. And the search engine will shut it off. So it runs over a little bit or it's a little bit under, but it's very close. It won't be like $30. And so you know that you can go off on vacation, go to sleep, not pay attention, but at the end of the 24-hour cycle, you will not have spent more than that, $20, $50, $100, wherever you want to start. And so you don't have to take a really big risk. And you know that the people that are looking for this traffic or this topics are probably somewhat interested, so they could be pretty good traffic for you. And there's two different kinds of pay-per-click potentially advertising you can do. There's the content network and the search network. And I'm just going to tell you right now, initially don't do the content, just do the search. Content is where the ads appear on websites that have content related to your topic. A little more complicated to make work, and you could waste a lot more money there. You always want to run those separate campaigns. Search is a much better place for you to start. And for beginners, that's definitely a way better focus than trying to do content. So you can do this stuff with a pay-per-click, and it's very easy. Just write a short ad with a little catchy headline, and I'll give you a big tip on how you can come up with great ads very quickly. And this comes from a guy that used to practice law, is you cheat. How do you come up with a great ad? You look at ads already up there. Okay, look at the ads that are already running. So if you're going to advertise in Google for golf clubs, then you would go to Google, search golf clubs, and look at the ads that are running. And be like, man, if they're paying money to run those ads, they're probably pretty good. I'm going to write an ad that's pretty close to that. Pretty simple way to do it. So the big ones are Google AdWords. And you can always search pay-per-click networks and see a lot of stuff. But Google AdWords, this is the biggest. It has the most traffic. You're also going to pay the most for traffic there. May not be the place for you to start. It can be a little more complicated, and actually I don't suggest you start there. We have what's called Yahoo Search Marketing, and all these are just their fancy names for their different products. So you have Yahoo Search Marketing. This is a good place to start, better and easier than AdWords. We also have MSN. This is Microsoft's thing, and this is Ad Center. And there are a bunch of smaller ones. These are the biggest ones that you might want to look at. Yahoo Search Marketing, good place to start. Good traffic, a little more reasonable pricing, and a little easier to get a good quality score, which is a determining factor in your pricing on your website. Much harder to get a good quality score on Google AdWords, especially just starting out. And again, lots of details here, but I can't get into all the details just in this first big video. There's just too much stuff here. So pay-per-click ads, great way to start. Drive people to a squeeze page, into a sales letter for your product, an affiliate product, whatever you want to do. Build that list, follow up, market, again and again and again. So those are good ways to get paid traffic, and you can very quickly, once you have your website up, go ahead and get some traffic coming in and be able to see some results. So that's a highly recommended way to do it. So let's talk about some free ways to get traffic, because free is good, and while you're getting some paid traffic, you can also get some free traffic, especially if you have time on your hands. Now, one of the very best ways, and this is a super way to do it, is to have a blog. And you probably have seen a blog or two out there on the web, and you may not know that it's actually short for weblog. These just started out as an online journal that people would have, and people would just talk about their day and share information that their friends or colleagues might want to look at. But these evolved, and so that there are now millions and millions of blogs out there, and they are very, very popular with the search engines. Google especially loves blogs because of the fresh content. And so you can set up a blog. It's very easy. In your hosting account, there's usually an easy way to set up what's called a WordPress blog, literally by pushing a couple of buttons and making a couple of choices. And your web host can tell you how to do this before, if you don't get to see a tutorial from us before you get to this point. But WordPress is a free software, and you can use it to set up a blog on your website. And then all you do is go ahead and make posts to it. A post is simply you write a little message, a little article. And so you want to make frequent posts. The way you want to do this is you want to post, like 3 times a week, 2 times, 4 times, whatever you can do. And you want those posts to be about your keywords in your marketplace. So if you're promoting golf equipment, you don't want to be writing about dogs and cats and furniture. You want to write about golf. And you want to use lots of the phrases that people might search for when looking for golf equipment. So you'd be talking about golf clubs and drivers and putters and wedges and whatever, because that's what's going to be the topic related to your blog. And by doing that, you're going to find that when you're posting, Google's going to find your website, and they are going to allow you, or I should say allow, they're going to include you in their index, and that's when you begin to show up. So you'll be able to search and find your blog is in there, and then you can start to get traffic. You could also, as you learn to do this, have an opt-in form like we talked about on the Squeeze page. You could also have one of these on the edge of your blog to capture email, because you always want to be capturing email. Put them on a list, do that auto follow-up, blast out to them, as well as obviously send them over to the sales page when it's time. And you can put them on the same we talked on the Squeeze page, give them a little bit of information about why they want to join the list, get on there, the free information you're going to give them, and get them to dive right in and want to be part of all that. And so this is one way to get some free traffic. Another way, and this is going to involve a lot of these things that we're talking about now. You talk about the Web 2.0. You hear a lot about Web 2.0 and a lot about social marketing. This is part of the interaction of people around the web, and a lot of sharing and freely handing out info that people like to do. And one of the big ones is part of this is video marketing. And I'm sure you've noticed that there's a lot of video online. Well, you can make videos and get them out on websites. And this is a very powerful way for you to create traffic and notoriety for your site. Because just imagine now that as I'm making this video, YouTube, which is a very popular video site, in case you haven't heard of it, YouTube had more searches than Yahoo in a recent month. That's how often people are going to these websites and searching for video information. And so you can make a short video that could be just to capture a screen on your website, could be capture of PowerPoint information, could be you just talking into a webcam, and you can put it up on YouTube. And so what you can do with these videos is, as you create the video, you can, number one, get your website listed up there. Both you could put it in the video. You'll see videos with what's called the watermark, or see the URL across the bottom, right? That's the URL, the website, like www.seancasey.com. So, and you can get, and this is also going to be a place where you get a link from YouTube, and this is going to be to whatever your site you want to send it to. Could be your Squeeze page, could be your blog, wherever you want it to be. And this video itself can show up in search engines. You'll see us abbreviate search engines almost always as SE. And so this could show up in Google or Yahoo or MSN or any other search engine, and people that see that video show up in there could click on watch the video, and then they'd see information about you and your site, can come to your website. So it's very, very powerful, and there are dozens of these video sites, and this is a very powerful way that you can go ahead and create videos if you're comfortable at all doing that. and get a lot of promotion out there for whatever website you want to promote, which obviously should be yours. And so this is a very powerful way to create links to your website and to drive marketing. And if you've ever wondered why sometimes you do searches and videos show up, it's because people are using them to market their business and their website, and they know the power of these videos to be able to do that. And you want to be the kind of person that gets to do this as well. So video marketing, that can be very strong. We also have a lot of social marketing sites, and social marketing is the broad term for any website that encourages interaction with other people. And so these are everything from Facebook, you have MySpace, now Twitter, which is becoming increasingly popular. This includes Dig and Hub Pages, and there's a whole bunch of these. Squidoo. And see, one of the common elements of all of these things is this. They're free. Free is a good thing. And so these are all free, and you can go and basically what you do is you go to any of these in case you've never been to one, and you set up an account, and then you can add content. And as you can probably guess, you want to add content, okay, that's targeted to your target market. So when you're doing this, you're going to be, say you go set up a hub page. Set up a hub page, and again, if it's about golf equipment, you start talking about golf equipment, golf clubs, everything else, and you post on a regular basis. And so like we just talked about videos, what's going to happen with these is, number one, these pages alone can show in the search engine. Number two, you can link to your main website from these pages so that you create a link which the search engines like, and you are also potentially a visitor that finds this page or goes to like the hub pages and searches and finds your site. They can link to your website so they know where to go for more information. They go to your website. And the search engines love these sites, and social marketing sites get more traffic collectively than anything else right now. When you take video and all these other sites, lots and lots of traffic that is going to make a big, big difference. Now, one last free topic, and this one I'm covering just generically here very quickly, is what we call SEO. And SEO, you probably have guessed now from what I said about SE before, it stands for search engines. And SEO is search engine optimization. Search engine optimization. Assuming I can spell optimization. So you're going to hear this referred to all the time by people as SEO. And SEO is a very important thing because we talked about all the free traffic from Google or Yahoo or MSN. It could be, millions of web searches every day. And so if you showed up in there, then you could get lots of free traffic. Search engine optimization is the art, the skill of getting your website to show up when somebody searches. And this is a result of the content on your page. So depending upon what your web page has as content and how it's related to the search, and it's also valued by the incoming links to your website. And so what you've got is the search engines judging the value of your website. They're going to judge it by content on your page, how is it related, how fresh is it, how much is it updated, and then how many links come into your website. Obviously, an easy way to keep growing your website, as I talked about, is with a blog and writing those targeted articles that are about the keywords that relate to your website. And so again, if you're doing that, then you're putting yourself in a position where you can get listed in the search engines, and then incoming links. It's pretty. There's a lot of detail here, but more is better. So if you were to look and see how many links the number one guy in your category has, you need to get as many or more than them. Now, links from better quality sites count for more in search engines like Google. So this gets more complicated, but the short version is this is how you get free traffic, search engine optimization. There's a lot of detail that we can give you on this topic and will be in future videos. But right now, this is the longest way to get traffic, just generally trying to optimize your website. And so this is the one we want to worry about the least right now, just in terms of overall, trying to create huge, complicated websites with lots of incoming links and things. We want to shortcut, like we said, talk about social marketing, the videos, all the other stuff, buying some traffic. Shorter way to go when it comes into this in terms of getting there fast. So lots of different ways, free versus paid, a lot of opportunities here. Want to make sure that you do this. To wrap this up, you want to look at up on here on the left where it says focus. That's what you need to do, is focus. And I want to kind of wrap up this entire video by coming very much back to the basics. And the basics are: do it. Take action. That's the first step. Second step is, like we talked about, you're going to choose your market, then you're going to choose your product. And don't overanalyze, don't get paralysis of analysis. Then you're going to set up your website and your autoresponder. Then you're going to start driving traffic to your website and your autoresponder, and then you are going to start getting paid. Yeah. Future videos are going to cover more detail, break a lot of this stuff down more, but this is the big overview. This is what a real internet business looks like. I generate millions of dollars every year in sales. This is how I do it. These are the methods, these are the thoughts, these are the patterns, this is the system. So I launch a product that's an overnight success because I follow all this stuff that I've told you here in this video. So please, please go out, take action right now, stop thinking, start doing, make it happen. Remember, if you do something every day for the next 30 days, you will have a fabulous month, be very productive, build great habits, and be making money by the end of that month if you go do this. So I wish you all the luck in the world. So Sean Casey, go out and kick some butt.